Anyway, my only New Year's resolution is to put out more content, and I promise to stick to that. We'll see. You know, I don't know. So, my only New Year's resolution was to make more content. That video was posted in January. It's now June. Obviously, I have really dropped the ball on my own only New Year's resolution. I guess that's not entirely true because I have been making content for the MBoards channel, but I have totally neglected my personal channel, and I want to make a lot more stuff for that. And I have a lot of things planned. Just been so crazy with the MBoards channel and the MBoards brand and all that. But anyways, I wanted to make a big update video. There's a lot of really big things that have been happening in my life personally, business-wise, everything. So I've been filming random clips here and there. I wanted to kind of put it all together and share with you guys a bunch of updates and where we're at and all that. I want to start off by giving everyone an update on MBoards. MBoards has been absolutely insane. We technically started, MBoards technically opened in 2017. That was when we were building custom boards, and then kind of later into 2018, well, early 2018, but a little bit of ways into 2018, we started opening our store up to parts. But 2019, I feel like, is our first year with a full-on inventory of items, our full first year of being established. So now we're able to collect a lot of data as far as when our, peak traffic times are, how inventory goes, this year will actually be legitimate data. 2018, we were just growing like stupidly quick, where none of that data is even like reliable as far as what our growth looks like, what our busy times are. Because I can tell you, spring of 2018 was nowhere near as busy as spring of 2019. If you look at the data in our sales throughout the whole year. Just because by the end of 2018, our growth had been so good, it made spring look like nothing. But now I know in 2019, spring is a big time for electric skateboard stuff. So yeah, it's been really interesting to see how this springtime rush has been affecting our business, how traffic has been going now that we've, been totally established in the e-skate community now. So it's very interesting to see like how those metrics play out, and we've learned a lot from this last couple months. But on a side note, you guys know the show Shark Tank. Well, a lot of times people go on there, they're asking for money because they need help with inventory, production, whatever. And a lot of times the sharks will talk about growing out of business, and I've never understood that term. I've always thought, well, you have great sales. What's the problem? Reinvest that money into inventory, whatever. You're selling your items for more than you pay for them. What's the issue there? I get it now. It's not a capital issue for us. Capital wouldn't really help us that much. But I understand the issue of needing someone to help you with the production side, because production can be very, very confusing and there's a lot of quirks to it. So I've learned quite a few lessons this last couple months. I'd love to kind of explain those to you guys. So if you're a small business owner, then maybe you'll kind of avoid those mistakes. Or if you're just curious in how our business is running, here you go. Anyway, I totally understand the phrase growing out of business. That's not what's happening to us, obviously, but yeah, so these last couple months, I have made some very smart and very stupid decisions all at the same time. A couple different things. So for one, we started out with two different battery models. We had a 10S2P and a 10S3P battery. If you're not super into the battery thing, they're just two different types of batteries. Well, we recently rolled out 7 more options because a lot of our customers were asking for different versions. They wanted a bigger version, a smaller version, a faster version, whatever. So we went from 2 versions to 9 versions, like that. First mistake there. I'll get into why that was a big issue. But at the very same time, I rolled out a new piece of software on our website called Kit Builder. And what you basically do is you kind of fill out our software with the different specs and parts you want in your electric skateboard, and it's kind of, pretty conveniently adds all the parts to your car and ensures that they're all compatible. So I rolled those 2 things out at the exact same time. Well, Kit Builder has done wonders for growth. It's really helped a lot of people gain confidence in building an electric skateboard, has done really good things for our sales. At the same time, the extra battery options has done a lot of good things for our battery sales. Mixing those 2 together on the exact same week was very stupid of me. I have learned about it now. So here's the thing about manufacturers. When you get samples, they rush them to you as quickly as humanly possible. When you do full runs, on the other hand, they don't have the manpower to do that. And it makes sense, right? Like you're getting a sample from a company, they want to impress you, so they, all hands on deck to get you those sample runs of batteries as quickly as they possibly can. But when you go back with a larger order, they just can't. It makes sense. Like logistically they can't, financially they can't. So I get it. So anyway, so we've had some battery delays because this is our first time doing a run of 100 batteries. We ordered a bunch of different versions of all 9 of the batteries we have. So our first batch, I think we ordered like 2 of each, was quick. This batch, on the other hand, it's not been quick at all. This is my nervous laugh. This is not funny to me. Like, the weird manufacturing quirks, along with releasing 7 new batteries and releasing the kit builder all at once. And on top of that, the spring rush is involved in that. And on top of that, you guys may have noticed, I have a couple bandages. I had surgery all within that same exact time. And it has put a damper on the way that MBoards operates. If you're an MBoards customer, thank you so much for being an early adopter of our new batteries. I'm super excited to get them out. There might be a couple more versions we want to release, but lesson learned, they will go out in the future. But anyways, here's a huge lesson I've learned. The estimated delivery dates that our manufacturers give us are tentative. They've never told us they're tentative. They just tell us that it's the delivery date. I know now that is not a date that I should ever be giving my customers as an estimated delivery date for them, because their date changes. So when they change their date, I have to then change the date I tell my customers, and vice versa. So it just kind of is a big vicious cycle of them changing a date on me, even if it's a couple days. Still, like I'm giving my customers an expectation and then not delivering on those dates. So that's been, I'm take full responsibility for that. I wish our manufacturers would have told us that they were tentative dates and not like, they kind of made it seem more of a promise than a tentative date. Makes sense now. I understand how they operate now. But yeah, definitely lesson learned. Will not be giving those dates to anybody until we have batteries in hand to anyone else. So that's definitely a lesson learned there. If anyone else is manufacturing anything, keep that in mind, that the dates that your manufacturers give you may not be true. Now, hopefully you'll find a manufacturer who's, has their shit together and knows exactly when your stuff is going to be there and is correct every time. I have a couple manufacturers like that, like the manufacturer that does our pulleys on the money or sooner every single time. And just kind of why I expected that from our battery manufacturer, even though they're totally separate people and totally separate companies. I just kind of put that expectation onto them as well, and that was stupid of me for sure. And I also want to address, like, for anyone who is trying to get in contact with us the last month or so, I apologize for a lot of messaging slipping through the cracks. Again, like a lot of, that springtime rush on top of my surgery. I'm back now from surgery, so like now, like as of like a week ago, all of our messages have been caught up, so we're at inbox 0 right now. So if you haven't gotten a response from us, just email us again. Like, I'm back from surgery now. Like, we have a small team, but when I'm gone, like, things don't run smoothly at all. But I'm back now, so everything's all good there. I'm going to talk about my surgery a little bit later in the video if you're interested. If you don't care, no worries. But I'd like to kind of just talk about it as just an overall update. But yeah, sorry for the longer video. I kind of want to just update everybody on a lot of things. It's kind of 6 months since there's been a video posted, so I kind of want to cover all my bases. But along with me being back from surgery, we have restructured our messaging system and the way that our team works. So everything is much more efficient now. We've definitely ironed out even more kinks. I feel like I've been saying that for 2 years. We're just ironing out the kinks, but it's true. We have been ironing things out a little at a time. Me releasing all these things and having surgery in the same week really, brought us back a little bit. We want to keep moving forward. We definitely took a step back this month, I would say. But, we're through it now. We've figured out our production situation. We've figured out our messaging system. I'm not going to have any more surgeries in the near future. So all of that really works out. And then we're kind of through that spring rush now. So everything is looking good. But yeah. But you guys should see our front lobby of Photo Factory. We basically shut down our other business for a couple months just to focus on MBoards. Our lobby has totally been overtaken by batteries. We've dedicated our whole lobby to unboxing and labeling and testing and repackaging all of our batteries and all of that. So that whole front lobby, that's just dedicated just for battery use right now. Yeah, it's a disaster. It's literally just foam thrown everywhere. Like we've just been working like nonstop for the past couple weeks, just getting these batteries out to everybody. But yeah, no, we've definitely all hands on deck. We've put our other businesses on hold for now. We have a couple like gigs coming up for that business, but mainly like our studio rentals have been put on hold because we just need to dedicate the space to MBoards because it's more important. It's weird because we work like really late, so we'll work till about 2, 3 a.m. and then go run all of our packages to the 24-hour Dropbox for USPS. And we've been doing that like every night, just like up till 3 or 4 a.m. We have probably a couple more nights like that ahead of us, maybe even a week of that, until we're totally where I want us to be. But anyway, the moral of the story is to plan. Like no matter how much I planned it, there's always gonna be stuff that's not right, like our manufacturer's telling us incorrect dates. But now I understand the way that their production works. Like there's 3 different things. There's chargers, there's the battery manufacturer, and then there's the BMS as well. The chargers and BMSs are separate manufacturers to our battery manufacturer. So they have to wait on their stuff. So we figured out a way where we can order all of that cheaper stuff ahead of time so we have a bank of that stuff ready to roll. So when we put in an order for batteries, they have the cheaper stuff on hand. Which makes sense. So it cuts out weeks of waiting for BMSs, which is amazing. So we figured that all out. So I'm very happy with our current production schedule. We'll be right on track like within a month or so. Like there will not be any waiting. Like right now, our battery lead time is 2-3 weeks. I would say in a month or 2, that lead time will be 0. It'll be right out. So that's our goal. Depending on how busy everything is and how much the demand still stays. But yeah, we should be like right on track in about a month or 2. Like we'll cut that down hopefully from 2 to 3 weeks to 1 to 2 to 1 to 0. So we'll kind of keep doing that. So that's about MBoards. I just want to thank everyone again for the support. It's been awesome. This whole month has been a huge learning experience, and I'm thankful that I'm not thankful that it's happened because it's affected a lot of our customers in weird ways, but I'm thankful that it's happened and now is over with because now I've learned something super important that I'll apply to the future. Like failure is not a failure. Failure is a mini success because it'll set you up for success in the future. That's kind of how I look at it. So this whole month, I wouldn't call it a failure, but it's definitely has been rough. But I'm super excited for the future, and I'm excited for you guys to kind of go on that journey with me. I'm excited to show a lot of our behind the scenes on this channel and then show more like of the tutorials on the other channel. It's kind of why I broke them up. But yeah. So that kind of covers MBoards. I do want to talk about my surgery because that's just been a huge update in my personal life and something that I wanted to share on my channel. Again, you guys may have noticed like I have a Band-Aid up here and then I have a big piece of surgical tape, if that's a thing, across my neck. It's about an incision like about this big. Anyway, so about a year ago, I was kind of just, okay, I can't really touch this side right now. It's kind of, you can kind of see it's kind of swollen. I don't want to push on it too hard. It does hurt a little bit, but on this side, so both sides, I was kind of just, for whatever reason, resting my thumbs against my jawline. And I could feel on this side that there was like a little bump in there. And I was like, oh, maybe, something's swollen. Glands get swollen when you're sick. I wasn't sick, but maybe I had a little cold that I wasn't really feeling. Or maybe my face is just not symmetrical. But over time, I just, I would forget about it because it didn't hurt. I would forget about it. I would just, I wouldn't feel it because you'd have to really push on it to feel it. So I just wouldn't happen to come across it for a couple weeks. But every couple weeks I'd find it again. I'm like, oh man, like that's still there. It's really weird. But over time it kept growing and kept getting bigger. And eventually it got to the point where just by looking at me, if I like kind of turned my head, you could see it. Here's actually a picture of me and my brother. My head's not turned, so you can't quite see it that much, but you can kind of see a slight bump. And if my head had been turned in this photo, you would be able to see it a lot more. Just by walking right up to me, you'd be able to see it like right away. I mean, it wasn't huge, but it was enough where it was noticeable. So finally, in November of 2018, I finally went to the doctors and we started working on a diagnosis, trying to figure out what was going on with it. That was pretty scary because they were asking me a lot of questions about family history of cancer and stuff, which freaked me out a lot. Finally, gosh, I feel like the medical system works so slowly, but finally was able to get the right referrals to the right specialists. We finally were able to do a biopsy. So they stuck a bunch of needles in it, took fluids out or whatever, and got it tested. I took about 2 weeks, and for entire 2 weeks or more, I was sitting here thinking I had lymphoma. Thankfully, it came back benign, so not cancerous, which was obviously great news. So that was the best news I ever heard in my life. But anyway, so I got, had that information, brought that back to my doctor, and they still were saying, you can't ignore it because it's still going to keep growing, and you can't ignore it because it can turn cancerous if you just let it go. So we have to get it removed. Okay, I had to schedule a surgery, which went really well. Anyway, they literally just made an incision, cut it out, sewed me up, and I'm good. It ended up being a tumor of my salivary gland. So not lymphoma, nothing about my lymph nodes. I did have a couple swollen lymph nodes, which is why they kind of thought that. But I think those will start to go down now that this is gone. So it worked out. They didn't have to take my entire salivary gland out, which is great. As far as I know, it's just taped shut. I think there is some like dissolvable stitches in there. I'm not sure. I haven't seen it without bandages. I get hopefully these taken out tomorrow. Don't mind this brief interruption. I kind of wanted to give you an update on my scar. My tape is finally off, and it doesn't look actually as bad as I thought it would. It doesn't look too bad. It's pretty long. It's longer than I thought, but it's fine. It looks pretty good. I think like the angle of it is pretty much the exact angle of like my natural neck wrinkles. So I feel like when that just becomes like more of like a smaller scar, it'll kind of be gone. It'll kind of disappear. It'll kind of blend in with my natural. So anyways, that's kind of my scar. It's kind of gross looking, but anyways, back to the video. But anyways, so I'm good. I'm really excited. That was, again, for obvious reasons, I'm happy that I don't have cancer. I feel like that goes without saying. But the surgery went without any kind of issues. They did have to put a drain in, which I don't have any video of. I should have taken video of it, but I do have a photo. It's really gross. But I had a tube coming out of my neck and into this weird, gross, like container thing that was sucking all of like the saliva and blood out of it for a couple of days, which is really gross. Finally got that removed, which is why I have a Band-Aid just kind of covering up like a hole in my face. Like I don't really understand that whole thing, but anyways, I guess that just prevented it from, infection and swelling and pain and all that. I've been lucky enough that I haven't had a lot of pain here. I haven't been able to lift anything more than 10 pounds. I mean, I can, but doctor said I shouldn't, which has really put a damper on the way I operate around MBoards, which really sucks. I can't, most of my packages I send out are more than 10 pounds. So Maddie's been doing a lot of the heavy lifting recently, but hopefully I'll be cleared to go back. Well, technically go back to work. I've been sneaking away to work just to handle a couple things, but hopefully I'll be cleared to go back to work soon. Yeah, but Maddie's kicking ass, helping me do all the work things and all that. So that's that. That's my surgery. Very long story. This is a long ass video today, so you guys might, if you guys have made it this far, cool. That's kind of the biggest updates in my life at the moment. Definitely want to do more videos. I'm doing a whole video on like what our battery production actually looks like, because I think it's interesting. I think it's very complicated, and I think it's, I don't know, I find it interesting. Anyways, let me know if you have any comments on anything. Comment down below. I'll reply to them regardless of what it's about, whether it's about business, surgery. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this super long, extensive video. For whatever reason, I needed to make it this long. I don't know. I just needed to kind of get a lot of things out there. And yeah, so if you're not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button. I know this is not my normal type of content, but if you are subscribed, thank you. And I will see you guys in the next one.